Hi, my name is Carla Fenson, and I am a volunteer with Family Reading Partners. And what we do is share good children's books with parents that encourage reading and conversation. And we know that parents are children's first and most important teachers. So today I'm going to share a book called The Great Big Book of Families. And this book is about just what it says it is. It's about families and how families come in all different shapes and sizes and look different and are different, and they're still families. So that's what the content of the book is about. This book is perfect for 3 to 5-year-olds or maybe even older, but it can also be read to children that are 2, because we know that 2-year-olds love to notice things, and this book is filled with things to notice that you'll soon see. So the other thing I want to point out about this book is just how every single page is filled with charming and fun illustrations that you'll see. So it just makes it a really enjoyable thing to look at and read with young children. So let's look at it together. The Great Big Book of Families by Mary Hoffman, with pictures by Roz Asquith. Once upon a time, most families and books looked like this. One daddy, one mommy, one little boy, one little girl, one dog, and one cat, and a house. But in real life, we know that families come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. In this book are a lot of families living in different ways. And perhaps there will be one that looks like yours. Families. Lots of children live with their mommy and daddy. But lots of others live with just their daddy or just their mommy. Some live with their grandma and grandpa. And some children have 2 mommies or 2 daddies. And some are adopted or live with foster families. I love how the author on this page points out all different combinations of families and how children don't necessarily look like their parents. Or here's a parent with a child in a wheelchair, making all kinds of different families feel included. And every page in this book has a border with all the illustrations related to the page. So in this one, here's a family of just 2 people, maybe a mommy or a daddy with a child. And then here's a larger family. And again, here's a different kind of family with a parent in a wheelchair and the child on her lap. Who's in your family? Some people have lots of brothers and sisters, and uncles and aunties, and cousins. It's lots of cousins, and grandmas and grandpas, and even great-grandmas and great-grandpas. But some people have really small families. You can be a family with just 2 people. Homes. People live in all sorts of homes. Some small families live in big houses, and some big families live in tiny apartments. And some people can't find anywhere to live. Here's someone who's sleeping in a sleeping bag, and here's someone who lives in a tent. It's really relevant, I think, that the author included families that may not have a home at the current time and still be a family, because we know, especially in this time of COVID, how families may have lost their jobs or their homes, but that doesn't mean they can't be a family. So that's kind of a nice topic and opportunity to talk about things like that with older children. The borders in this page I also really like. You can talk about what it might be like to live in all these kinds of houses. What might it be like to live in an apartment? Or what might it be like to live in a tent? Or a tree house? Or a lighthouse? Something else I want to point out, that at the beginning of the book, the author points out that on every page there is a cat, and that you can find the cat on every page. So I know I said that there's a lot to notice. This would be one thing to notice on each page, particularly for young eyes that like to notice lots of things. It's hard to find the cat in this picture, but I did spend some time doing it, and that cat is there. There it is. So each page in this book offers so many wonderful opportunities for talking and reading and discussion. So much so that you don't even have to read every page in this book. You can just read whatever pages interest you or your child and still get a lot out of it. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to read every page in this book. I'm just going to skip ahead to a few others of my favorite pages. Some people believe their pets are members of their family, and some pets think they're very important family members. Looks like they've switched beds. Some people even look like their pets. Fun picture. There's our cat. Some families can't have pets, but it doesn't stop them from dreaming. See, these are dreaming on a unicorn. And there are ways that every family can have a pet of some sort. Looks like these guys are walking outside and just playing with the snails. Anything can be a pet. The border has all kinds of different pets and animals and reptiles for conversation. I'm going to skip ahead to another page here. Feelings. In some families, everyone shares their feelings. Other people are more shy. Perhaps they just like to keep their feelings to themselves. Like this little boy clearly wants to keep his feelings private. And sometimes not everyone in the family feels the same way. Doesn't look like this little girl is too excited about the baby that her parents and perhaps grandmother are welcoming. Not at that moment anyway. And feelings can change quickly. Here's a group that clearly are getting into an argument, but then making up. And feelings can change quickly. So the border of this page is filled with faces with different expressions. And this is really fun, not just to identify the different expressions, but also maybe to try them on. I did this with my 3-year-old neighbor, and we had a lot of fun. There's some expressions of someone who's maybe feeling pretty sad, someone who's pretty angry, happy, surprised and probably scared, maybe feeling bad and a little embarrassed. So all kinds of feelings and faces here that are really great for discussing and just talking about, and maybe talking about different feelings among family members on that particular day or at any other time. So, families can be big, small, happy, sad, rich, poor, loud, quiet, mad, good-tempered, worried, or happy-go-lucky. Most families are all of these things some of the time. Take that off. What's your family like today? There's our family of cats, too. So that is some of the pages of the book, The Great Big Book of Families. I wanted to point out that the borders on the back of this book and the front of this book, they are the same, but they have the illustrations from the borders of every single page. So, and it actually, you can even look at them like you're following along the text of a book, of a page. So here are all the animals and reptiles that were on the page that we talked about. Here are the faces on the page that we looked at on feelings. And let's see, here's the border illustrations from the page we talked about on houses. And then there are lots of others on the pages that we didn't read today. So that's just something I wanted to point out, because the book is not just rich in opportunity for conversation about different kinds of families, for older children, maybe their family, but also families that they may see in their school or their community or their church or walking down the street. And for younger children, a really lovely opportunity to label words, look at pictures, count, and identify cats. So that's some of the reasons I really enjoyed this book. And I hope that you enjoy some books with your children too, and that you find time to read to them every day. It's a really lovely opportunity to sit down together and just see what comes up. Thank you.